Break It Down is brought to you in part by Mayo Clinic and viewers like you.
Vincent Schilling, thank you so much for joining us. Today we're going to break it down on a new show that's exciting a lot of people. It's called Reservation Dogs, and it airs on FX and Hulu. Vince, I want to jump right in. Can you first tell us what the show is about and maybe your thoughts on why it excites so many people?
Hey, Aliyah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. My gosh, where do I even start with how many exciting things are going on in this show? Having been arts entertainment journalist for so many years, to see this, to have gone through the history of Native Americans or natives in film and television, it started out as the sense of trying to create this noble Indian that didn't sell. So then they created the savage, killer that filled the seats. So that's what Native people were subjected to for decades and decades in film and television, is watching ourselves portrayed as bloodthirsty savages. And I don't know how you felt, but I think I'd be safe to say for a lot of Native people, a lot of these television programs are really, really upsetting. So to see something like this is just so exciting, because Native Americans are seen in a brand new light. And I think a lot of people are saying, wow, this is the definition of Native people? Interesting. But it's
been so exciting.
Yes.
I couldn't agree more. And I just want to give our viewers a little bit of background before we get too far. Reservation Dogs is a new show that airs on FX and Hulu. And essentially it's a show about 4 Native American teenagers who live in Oklahoma, and the entire production had Native influence at all levels, from the writing to the production team to the actors, and now to the media covering it. For you, what has been the most exciting part about all of these levels of representation?
It's real, and the thing I think that's most exciting, and it's been so intrinsically into my head for so many months now, thinking about it, that I'm literally will be walking from one place to another and be like, oh yeah, because I'm thinking about it, just literally walking to the store or something. And I dawned on me something that really, really, really shines to me, is that for so long, Native people are viewed by an American audience as this guy, crossing his arms, kind of serious, stoically looking off into the wind with his hair blowing, or any of those type of tropes. But I think one of the biggest things and most exciting things is people are going, wow, you know what? Native people are funny. I think that's the biggest thing. Native people are funny. How much do we laugh, in our daily lives? It's
all the time, it feels like. I know one of my favorite scenes has been, there was this pickle medallion, this eater, he had made a medallion that was made out of pickles, and
Yes.
outside of Native communities, had never met anybody who just ate pickles. I love pickles, all of my cousins love pickles, and so it's just really funny to see that on television, as you've described.
Yes. And what really stuck out to me was the owl scene, because so many of my friends are like, oh my gosh, owl. For me, not so much. If if a bird was to fly into my house, yeah, that's a whole different story as a Mohawk. But I didn't catch this, and I saw Jana Schmieding had posted on her Instagram about the owl scene, that how at the beginning of the show it says closed caption, violence. He Sterling Hardy put O for owl, there was going to be an owl in that episode. I was like, oh my God, what a blast. What a blast.
It is. And the other really exciting part is the fact that there's this new generation of Native actors, but in addition, they tie in, faces that we know in Native households well. Can you tell us a little bit about the cast?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, let's look at these young kids, Bear, Alora, Willie, Jack, and Cheesed, played by DeFaro Wunatide, Devery Jacobs, Paulina Alexis, Lane Factor. These kids are just shining stars, and this is not going to be the last. It's like the new generation is coming in. You know what I'm saying? It's like we look at our elders and our elders are like, no, it's your turn now, son. You're coming in now. But to add to that, I've seen episodes 5 and 6. I'm really very excited to have seen them because I'm going to be reporting on it in my Native Nerd column in my reviews and stuff. But there's a scene where Zahn McClarnon, who is a very close friend of mine, I love him dearly. He is dealing with Cheese, played by Lane Factor, and then they're having a great time, this young kid, and then they pull over Wes Studi. So then it's Zahn and Wes going back and forth, and I won't reveal any of the episode, but I was like, how freaking epic is this?
Iconic.
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. It's exciting. Like I'm literally sweating with excitement. Talking about.
I love that. And I think Wes Studi in Native communities is someone that you grow up watching. It's someone that
oh my gosh.
you know. It's a thread that I've read in media recently about this show is that it's smashing stereotypes about Native people. Can you tell us, do you think that this show, Reservation Dogs, is opening the way for more shows about Native people?
Yes, absolutely. I think this is paving the way for new Native shows. Absolutely. I saw a tweet, I think it was from one of the stunt people on Reservation Dogs that said, now that there's going into season 2, and I hadn't even heard it was season 2 officially yet. So, and I don't know how official that is, but if that's true, that goes to show you how much they want this thing. So I think it is absolutely smashing stereotypes and paving a way. Look at Dallas Goldtooth's character, you know, as the spirit guy who is this hokey, silly, hilarious, you know, Native guide who checks his private parts in IHS and says bad language, and it's creating this whole new realm that people hadn't even conceived of before. And I think in the essence, at its finest, it is storytelling, and people want to hear these stories. And I think people want to hear, wow, what are the real stories of Native people? Because for so long, we haven't been told by Native people about Native people.
Can you tell us, you know, what you're most looking forward to and maybe what people can watch out for?
Well, I'm looking forward to where's this going to go and what other projects are Sterling Harjo going to be doing, because you know it's just going to be epic, because this is just an incredible, incredible show. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. That's my push as a Native nerd.
Well, Vincent Schilling, thank you so much for breaking it down with us on the new show, Reservation Dogs. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me, Aliyah. I appreciate it.
This hour of local news is made possible by contributions from the Friends of PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you. If you have comments about Arizona PBS News, please contact us at one of the addresses on your screen. Thank you.